it's Joy and today I'm going to be watching Roswell, New Mexico, Season 4, Episode 8, Missing My Baby. With the ending of the last episode, we're finally on the train finding Alex and figuring out what's happening to him, and I'm so happy about that. I do just want to reiterate that my sort of criticisms, and again, it was only slight criticisms and sort of frustrations with the show with regards to Alex, wasn't that they had him not in the show, it wasn't that Alex was gone and no one noticed, etc. Because I get it, he was away on the mission and they didn't know about it, and obviously Tyler, I believe, had a back injury and so couldn't be there, and so they were actually being really supportive the way they did this. My issue was that they did mention him a couple of times, but there wasn't then it was a bit weird that he didn't message me when my mum died. It was a bit weird that he didn't reply to a message about Michael being sick. You know, I feel like there would be slight concerns. And even if right now they weren't like, let's drop everything and find him concerns, you would still be like, it's a bit weird that he hasn't responded to any of those big important messages. So that was all kind of it. I know I've seen some people who are like raging at the show, and I'm like, no, you've got to be a bit more understanding than that. They've done a really good job and they've been really respectful to Tyler with helping him with his back injury, etc., and giving him the time he needed. I just feel like plot-wise, when we had, you know, these big events happening to people that were very close to Alex and mattered to him, and that we got like, oh, Alex, Maria needs you, come home. Oh, Alex, your boyfriend's sick, come home, type of messages, that no one was like, why haven't you replied? I imagine that kind of comment will happen in this episode, but I just think plot-wise, like just one-off, like quick remark of, it's kind of weird he didn't reply about that. But yes, I'm so excited for this episode. I'm excited for everything else in this episode as well, but just, you know, I'm worrying about my Alex, so let's find out what's happening to him. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon, and let's go! I have my cosmic bracelet, I have my Malix, well, it's Zalamis t-shirt, I'm ready, let's go. Clyde's the man in town now. This is not good. It's burning the fruit, and the guitar, and the tree. Jesus. He is going for the scorched earth approach, doing it all by himself, the little zealot.
Starting to get worried that
Yes.
Alex is not dead.
He is
there
not
has
dead.
To be a scientific explanation for how Alex is reaching out to you.
So we have to be a bit concerned
In theory,
and figure it out.
he's trapped somewhere and he's reaching out for help. I think we gotta switch seance for science.
Yes.
Surprise, witches! Why are you back?
I'm happy that she's back.
Rosa has been honing her echolocation power.
Yes.
And now seemed like the perfect time to test it.
No matter where in the universe you are, my blade will find you.
Because that's not unsettling at all.
I mean, what's unsettling is it wasn't even a threat.
What good has ever come from us poking into our childhood?
If there is a
Oh, that's so
connection
sad for
between me
Michael
and
saying
Tesca,
that, but
then
it's
we
so
can figure out
true.
where Dallas is.
Coffee or
I gotta change before I head to the lab.
They need to talk. And they need to talk about Alex.
I needed some time to clear my head.
Yes, this is healthy. You can have arguments and fights, but you stay together and work through it.
Alex is missing too. And now like some alien media, Maria's been getting messages from him.
Right, well, I gotta tell Michael.
No, wait. Mikey runs hot. News like this, that's gonna tear him apart. Especially when we have no information. I think we should give Maria some time to figure this out.
I kind of understand that, because Michael, it will just cause him agony and pain with no way for him to help right now. But I also just adore the fact that Max's instant response was, must tell Michael. And I kind of still think they should. Because you shouldn't, like, would you want to have this kept from you if there was nothing you could do? But I can see both sides.
Why can't you just accept that I am perfectly capable of helping without ability?
Because that is a huge gamble, and it's selfish. And not only are you
They're not really
denying your
talking.
powers, but you're also denying who you are.
Well,
You're
look,
denying your
I'm
authentic
from a real
self.
path.
Well, that
Just
was
give
right
him
where
some
yesterday.
time. Just give him time to go through what he's going through. Everyone deserves that.
I got a call to tow an abandoned junker. Matches Dallas's wheels, figured it was worth pursuing.
Alex is probably near here.
What's with the vibe?
I don't have a
Yeah,
vibe.
you
I don't need my alien
do.
mojo to know when something's wrong with you. Oh, you're in your feels because we're muggles now.
No, actually, Liz is working.
Michael
on
would
that.
be.
She thinks she can bring your powers back.
You passing on it?
Well, yeah, he
Yeah, I
chose.
mean, I think it's best. What I want is to be a normal guy from Roswell.
Max, is it what
This
you
might be my
want
shot.
or what you think
I
is
just
the
wish I
thing
could
to
make
keep
Liz
everyone
understand
safe?
that I'm doing it for us.
Maybe there's just no solution to this.
Okay, I like to think of a setback as an opportunity.
You're too
for
trusting. You're
ideas to
she's
blossom.
gonna turn on us.
Working.
Can I trust you?
course.
Oh, she's gonna. Okay, this is good progress if she's telling us.
We need a pod that's in working condition.
So
Got one in a junk drawer?
no,
Now it's my turn to share a secret.
is it your secret to share?
We know that the Caulfield experiments warped your family's alien ability. If Liz was able to reverse the effects of your brain degeneration, then it makes sense that you're going through your own alien puberty.
Oh my god, that's actually such an idea.
Alex has been
That this is
silent.
healthy.
Even now that I've been trying to listen.
You have to find a place inside yourself where you feel safe and
I'm
calm.
so proud
What
of
makes you
Rosa
feel
and
like
everything
you
she's
can
grown.
Silence everything.
So why don't you be a good prisoner and,
Isabel, be
Tell me Jane's
careful.
We've never crossed paths on Oasis.
Fuck.
And why do I remember you telling me to anticipate my move?
Is that a 7-year-old? They both had their memories lost. Or the pod took both their memories.
You remember telling me those words?
Isabel, don't get too close.
They're even more beautiful than I imagined.
I don't like this. Liz should have contacted Max, Michael, and Isabel to ask permission to bring her here. Like, I really hope she did that and we just didn't see it. Because otherwise, this is such a violation. I understand that for the science and to help everybody, we need this. I don't know that we needed to bring her. Liz could just be like, yes, I do, I'll bring the sample. But, you know, like, I understand. I'm not hating on Liz for doing this. I think we've had felt a lot about trust from Giovanni, but I just am stressed. And I do think that if she didn't ask their permission, this is pretty shit.
2 others in addition to your subject? Max Evans is an alien, isn't he?
Jesus Christ, Liz, what have you done?
The secret is safe.
And since consciousness is a tangible form of energy connecting us to all matter, astrophysicists believe that meditation
Look at
could
Rose
open
now.
you up to speaking over the judgment.
Something's happening. That's the alien noise.
Alex was looking for these before he went missing.
Missing? What do you mean Alex went missing?
His whole world just shattered.
Like a universal vaccine? Interspecies scaling at this level would be a huge leap.
We'll work on
It's
it
working.
once we've done
The
this.
proteins are strengthening the cells.
She's gonna steal the research and use it on her daughter before she's ready or something.
Thrilled. Deep Sky hasn't heard from Alex either.
Michael.
So everyone's on the group chat but me.
Same way that she reached out to me when Jones trapped her in the coma.
How's that not bad news? You don't think if you were trying to talk to someone, he'd be trying to talk to me?
I mean, she might be the only one that's listening right now.
What the hell's that supposed to mean? You don't think I was thinking of Alex every single second? I was risking my life to stop
I
whatever
know.
Milky Way mess the Dark Triad set in motion? Oh, and you. What have you done lately? Besides pretending that you still have powers?
He's just upset and worried. And people lying to him didn't help. He's gonna punch him. Michael. Michael, stop, okay? This isn't helping.
I will when you calm down.
It's part of why he came here, I think.
How can you keep Alex missing a secret from me? And you want to make me feel melodramatic when you knew that the man that
I did this because of Liz. We're not in a good place, okay?
To win back the girl, you stabbed me in the back.
Michael.
Okay.
This is fucking spiraling.
You have spent years insisting that we are a family. If you believe that, then you wouldn't have used my suffering to fix your love life.
Jesus Christ.
Hope the wedding's worth losing a brother.
Michael, I understand Michael will come around a bit, okay? You just have to prove to him that you do love him and that you do value him, because right now you're not showing that. And Michael's obviously going to react badly to that happening because of his life and his parts. And like, he's just begun to believe that they loved him like family. And now he feels like everybody around him knew this secret and was keeping it from him. But Max, you can make it up to him. It's going to be fine. But also you should not prioritize romantic relationships completely over platonic relationship. That's going to hurt platonic relationship.
I've devoted my life to taking a stand against
Or did they
You
brainwash
don't have to
you?
believe me, but you should at least believe yourself.
Isabel, that's far too trusting. She hadn't even agreed.
You're going to be the fiercest warrior someday.
So did Tekla get brainwashed into being a
warrior's true
fearless?
strength is her compassion, because you deserve a say in your own story.
This is a different Tekla to the crazy lady we know now.
Our stories are connected.
Isabel.
Don't be mad at Max and Marie.
He can't argue with her right now.
I'm sorry.
You treated me like a child. And I acted like one. Oh, I said nasty things. He needed me. And I was too busy playing Donnie Brasco with my new alien besties.
You couldn't have known, sweetheart.
I was so consumed with finding a way home that I lost sight of the home I was trying to build with him.
But that's
Blaming yourself's not gonna bring him back.
exactly. You couldn't have known any of this was gonna happen.
Even in the strongest.
What I have learned from Alex is that no matter how hard you
I love how
grasp onto
much they're
sand,
grown, and they're still growing.
still slips through your fingers. Oh, it's a start, but I will take it. Thank you.
He's gonna have to learn control again, or are they gonna be different? So interesting.
Talk this time. I
Yes.
can tell your lip isn't the only thing hurting.
But I don't want to be someone who turns their back on their family.
Max, take a
Constantly
beat.
breaking your heart.
My heart is not broken. I will always be on your side, regardless of what path you choose.
Just preferably not a serial killing path, because we would not support that. Isabel, you did not think this through.
Don't you want to know what you're fighting for?
Yeah.
I'll always find you. Wherever in the universe.
So did she get captured and brainwashed?
And promise me you won't come out.
Fuck, she did. She was distracted by Isabel. By her worry and love.
You only love me.
The dictator in full glory.
We are going to get him back.
Another message would be great right now.
Despite what my tantrum might suggest.
Oh god.
That's the song Alex wrote about us.
Oh my god. Oh my god. They just love each other so much. He's in the upside down.
We gotta follow him then.
Would you come home?
Dependent on it.
This is everything. Shivani, she's stolen the pods or something. She's definitely stolen the work.
The covalent bonds between the amino acids.
She's scaring me.
How did you come up with this equation?
Uh-huh.
You're a scientist.
And I might have inhaled a bit.
Okay, we have to go to the hospital. That compound could be toxic.
No, Liz, I'm fine.
Oh god.
This is a happy accident. Opened my mind up to infinite possibilities.
This is terrible.
Close to my heart. She's dead.
She doesn't have to be. What good is all the money in the...
It's too late.
It was too late for your sister.
I knew it.
Rosa seems to be having the time of her life.
I knew it. Here comes the other shoe.
Come on, Liz. You have created something revolutionary. A compound that
This was
proves
always a
people
mistake.
beyond limit.
She knows so many of our secrets.
Discoveries at our fingertips. If the brilliant Liz.
Liz, run. She's gonna spray it at you.
Just a little.
I feel like we should assemble the pod squad.
Max is useless without his powers.
Bless. Oh god, who's this?
Grab the rope.
See? Max is useless without his powers. Alien powers did not save Maria from the sinkhole, but Max and Rosa are going to with their human strength, right? Although we do kind of need to go into the sinkhole. Together! Yes, beautiful. Together they could do it. Neither alone is enough, but together.
Alex is dependent. He led us to where he is. He's alive down there. I know it.
Alex is down there?
Michael?
I gotta go get him.
Michael?
Michael, no. I'm sinkhole.
I have to help him!
I
I wasn't
know.
listening to him. I wasn't paying attention.
Look, want to get him back? I need your head and your heart here, now, okay? Be the thing that pulls Alex back.
He will be Michael. listening. You just had no way of knowing he was in trouble.
How'd you find us out here?
I think I could have expressed my anger a little less Hulk smash.
Me too.
But I got your back, brother.
Brother.
Your powers help you act as an anchor between dimensions. I
It's
think
a
Alex is able to use
dimensional
you as a
shift.
conduit to communicate by moving things.
This-
That's my use.
Alex is literally in the upside down. I was joking when I said that.
Scientist. You're going for Liz's job? What's going on?
No, just a hobby I picked up in New York.
Rosa, is there something she's like keeping from
Help me
us?
see things in a new light.
This does change everything.
I don't know what's real anymore.
Please.
I can't imagine what Tekla is going through right now.
Liz Orteco will bring the alighting.
Fuck.
She's actually my teacher.
Gonna use her Vanessa.
The only way I'll be whole is if I get my Nicole back.
That's the thing, I don't know how Shivani could possibly get through the kind of pain she is going through right now. It breaks my heart to think of, but it also makes her very, very scary because she will cross any boundary.
You're not thinking through the consequences here. Bringing
Let's get
my
back.
sister.
Millions die all over this planet from illnesses you could eradicate in a heartbeat. But you
But
won't.
it's not that simple, and she is working for that.
I am not a god. Judgment's clouded. You aren't thinking straight.
I have never been more clear in my life.
No, Shivani, don't do it. Do not become a casualty to your grief.
Let me help you.
Liz.
I would rather lose myself than my daughter.
I knew Liz was gonna end up in healing, so I hoped it wouldn't be that much. Okay, so this episode was everything and also terrible in so many ways. Not terrible as in like it was a bad episode. Terrible as in like okay, so starting with how we ended with Shivani. Obviously, her daughter being, I was sort of assuming she'd managed to figure out some kind of like, given the advanced science in the show, like some advanced science while her daughter wasn't quite dead, but her daughter was literally dead. Shivani's obviously always been the scariest thing was when you found out she was fighting for her daughter's life, was a mother who's got nothing else to lose, will not respect other people's boundaries, and she's going to be willing to cross any line. It's particularly scary right now. We definitely saw Shivani lose more control having taken the drug, and she definitely took it intentionally. None of this, oh, my hand slipped. But I also think in some ways it seemed like it just brought out the desperate desire that went inside. I think she was trying to slowly get Liz to the place she was trying to demand Liz went to in this episode. I think she was kind of working very manipulatively by supporting Liz and slowly needling the information from her that she could potentially use, whether that was Rosa, because she definitely set up the cousin thing and like came to try and get information on Liz by coming to that dinner last week. And then figuring out who the alien was. She was slowly but surely piecing together information that she could use on Liz if needed. And trying to, I think she genuinely hoped Liz would willingly be like, yeah, that's great, let's do it. But I think she was going to slowly get to that point and not kind of like in this episode be like, hi, do it. So I don't think Liz will lose her personality, like change who she is, but potentially her deepest desires will come out more desperately, whatever, or it could potentially just activate the sciencey part of her brain and she could lose some of the ethical side of her, which is, we're going to fix you, it's going to wear off or something. Or Kyle could maybe help, because I know he doesn't have a science brain, he has a medical brain, but this is kind of a medical issue now. The Kyle is currently wandering around Mexico. I don't know. We haven't seen him in a minute. So that was very stressful, especially worrying about Liz going forwards. But I believe in her. I am so proud of her for how strongly she stuck to her morals and her commitments. She trusted Shivani way too easily with like showing her the pods and everything. And letting it, the minute Shivani was like, you know, an alien, Liz should have been like, I have to go by, you know, or at the very least I would have liked to see her discuss it with Max, Michael and Isabel, like, the potential benefits of this are XYZ, the potential risk is this, I do believe we can trust her. You know, I think there should have been more of a discussion, because at the end of the day, it wasn't Liz's secret. I mean, potentially Rosa could be affected, but it wasn't Liz. It was them, and scientists knowing about them has been a fear that Max literally in the first episode said they've been scared of their whole lives. But I can see why she trusted Shivani. She seemed like the kind of inspirational woman that you want to believe in. And I think potentially if her daughter was not dead, she might be the person she seemed to be. So, I mean, I have no idea what the next episode is going to be like with Liz. Whether she will be herself just amplified, whether she will have lost her morals, we will see. The question, like the ethical question that was raised here of bringing the daughter back or not. Now, obviously it does sound like a load of shit coming from Liz with her revived sister, but Rosa was dead but immediately put in an alien regenerative pod, not a cryogenic chamber made by humans who hope it will one day be useful. She was put in an alien regenerative pod for 10 years, immediately after death. I mean, actually not immediately after death, it was like, but you know, within a day of death, a couple of days, like it was, you know, it wasn't a while after. And then Max died to revive her. That is not something that an alien should be capable of doing. But I do also think that there is potential for, if the science can understand how Max's healing powers works, it being replicated with science rather than being replicated with like an alien, which I think somewhere down the line of Liz's research that could be possible. But then you start playing God, and that is ethical. Now, I think we would all agree a child should get to live. But what happens when someone, you know, you'll get one of these dystopian shows where like no one dies because everyone, like you get old and you just keep reviving yourself. There would need to be lines, and where do you cross them? It is a very risky thing to just jump to that point. I think you would need to get there in small stages, like Liz's research using kind of what she'd learned into like just the regenerative things to like help with like heart problems or memory problems. I think it is a process that we can't rush, but I can also understand why people would be like, we can save lives, let's just fucking do it. It is a difficult ethical question, and you know, Shivani did raise some good points, but at this point her daughter is so far gone, and taking the unknown drug that could do God knows what to you is not the answer. I am really intrigued about where Ali is. I feel like potentially Kyle and Eduardo and his daughter are going to just find Ali now. She is just chilling in Mexico, because potentially this shift here is maybe even that she's like, I mean, I would do anything to save my daughter, but she's gone. And that's why she was drinking in Mexico, drinking away her grief and sorrows, and the fact that her wife is losing herself into this desperate search. So I'm very intrigued with where this all goes. Very scared of Clyde still, what he's up to, the zealot. Teska being brainwashed by Jones was a brilliant twist. Devastating. And I think if anybody can kind of understand that to a degree, it's Isabel. Now, obviously, Isabel hasn't been through this scenario, but she was married to a man who was lying to her, manipulating her, had been violating, like taking control of her body and things like that. She has been in a similar situation. And I really think for Tekla, you know, the woman she was, it breaks my heart to think of what she became and the act she will remember having done for Jones, no doubt. But I hope we're going to get to see her find her way back to who she is. Maybe she and Bonnie can together kind of right some of those wrongs, and then potentially we have two of the evil triad on our side and Clyde can go fuck himself. But I also don't think it will necessarily be as simple as next week Tekla's like, well, I'm fine now. I think she's got a lot to process and work through. And to see another side of her, to see more of, it was like a real, like the rebellion was fighting, Louise was off fighting, Isabel was being protected by people, but when Jones came there were no one, there was no way for them to stop them. That also really reinforces why they kept their children in the pods when they came to Earth, because when Jones was rampaging on Oasis, they couldn't protect them, and so they had to try and stop Jones before they felt their children were safe. It almost makes me wonder whether or not she put Isabel in the pod immediately after this incident rather than it having been sooner than that. But it was so fascinating to see, and I'm so proud of Isabel for really fighting for, I mean, I do think she took the manacles off far too quickly, but I also think it was trying to show that she wanted some sort of trust in Tesca and in the process itself. And I'm proud of Isabel. I'm really proud of Isabel and Liz and Rosa in these episodes, for they have stayed true to who they are. They know who they are now, and they are helping other people find their way as well, and I love it. Though Rosa's sudden scientific knowledge does concern me, and I don't know. I'm worried like that's gonna be another shoe that's gonna drop, rather than it being just like she's done some research. If it is just that she has done some research, totally valid and fine, but it worries me. Then we have the other, Max and Liz. They get in there. This is what I like to see in a relationship. It's something that I maintain is that happy couples don't ruin TV shows. Bad writing does. Because Max and Liz are a happy couple. Right now, they are going through something. They have disagreed. They have both handled it badly. And then you know what they're doing? They're working together. They're not dramatically breaking up over it. They're working through it. And that is how what the show should be. You can have a couple get together in season 2 and stay together for 6 more seasons and still be interesting. For one thing, their relationship doesn't have to be at the centre of the plot the entire time. It can just be a nice, beautiful side note to it. And for another thing, they will go through enough scenarios and situations within that relationship to be interesting if you write them well. And I think they're showing a really healthy dynamic in the sense that it's realistic, because neither one of them is always perfectly knows exactly what to say and takes the healthy approach endlessly. But they keep going, they keep being there for each other, they get advice from other people, and they bring it back to the relationship to keep it steady. And I love that so much. Michael Michael devastated me in this episode. First of all, just him. He was doing really okay with not having his powers. I really thought he'd be struggling more, but he was able to kind of joke about it. And then, obviously, overhearing about Alex. And I think it's terrible because it wasn't even like Rosa was like, no, Michael deserves to know, I'll tell him or something. He overheard them talking about it. And then finding out that everybody else was in the loop. I mean, it wasn't literally everybody, but it was enough to be everybody. And it does feel a bit like, oh, so you don't trust me? But then I loved the fact that ultimately he was like, yeah, then I did react the way you were all scared I would. But I also think he had the right to know and to be able to react that way. Something I love about the show is the characters, and that we have seen them all grow. But none of them are, and all of them have had amazing character growth. Both self-healing, self-discovery, but none of them are unrealistically perfect humans. Aliens. They make mistakes. They do things that they regret. But, season 1 Michael would have taken a few episodes to be like, I've overreacted, I should make some apologies here. Season 4 Michael is like, I have this gut-wrenching reaction which comes from his past, his trauma, and his concerns with Alex, his love for Alex and his concern about him. And he's able to almost immediately be like, I overreacted and was a bit shit. Because yeah, in those scenarios they should have told him. He should not have reacted quite as violently as he did. But also, they understand why he did, and that is what is so beautiful about all of this. Seeing Michael just... And again, as always with Michael, the level of anger he was lashing out with was anger at himself more than anything. But he put it on other people first, and he recognised that himself and apologised for it, and I love him. Because he feels like, he was doing this thing, he was doing this mission, I truly do believe he was thinking about Alex all the time. But I definitely think there was an element of where his only thought wasn't Alex. Potentially even because he just trusted that Alex was safe doing something important. He was focusing on his mission and this thing that was very, very important. It was life and death stuff. If he'd been, being interrogated by Clyde and he was sort of saying, oh, I miss Alex, he could have died. So, there's nothing wrong with it. It wasn't like he was ignoring signs from Alex. It wasn't like Alex was texting him like, hey, I need help. And Michael was just like leaving him on red. He truly could not have known. But I can understand how, no matter how illogical it is, you would blame yourself. My absolute favourite moment of the entire episode was when Maria was able to tune into Alex to allow him to communicate. And he played Would You Come Home? And then Michael was playing it with him. Was not prepared for that. Mentally, emotionally. It was everything. And then Michael figuring out that Alex was communicating through the lights because he's in the upside down. And then they were able to follow him. They found the sinkhole. They know where he is. They know Dallas is likely there as well. We're getting these pieces together and I'm so excited about that. But in Michael, this episode, it was so beautiful because it showed his love for Alex, which is always beautiful to see. It was beautiful because it showed you how far Michael has come from season 1, how much growth his character has had. Because yes, he's still not perfect. Yes, he still lashes out and reacts rashly. And then he very quickly is able to be like, to take a beat. And like in this moment, Liz was able to literally force him to take the beat and be like, I have over, like, yes, what they did was shit, but I did overreact. And I absolutely loved that. I think, again, his reaction showed you that all the pain that he used to feel still exists, but that he's working through it and healing from it. And that is, you know, bettering yourself, therapy, whatever you do to heal, doesn't get rid of the original trauma and pain that you're feeling, but it helps you know how to deal with it more and then deal with it when it flares up. And I just thought they did a really good job of showing that in this episode. I also loved that we had the sort of scene with Liz talking to him, and I love the fact that, you know, he lashed out at Max, but at the end of the day, Max was like, I'm always gonna fight to save the love of my brother's life, okay, brother. And Max was like calling him brother, like really emphasizing. Also, when Michael was crying and Max just held him, I love their love. So no, this episode was absolutely stunning. Another, something I meant to say before, so I wanted to finish with Michael, but it's fine, is that I loved the idea Rosa suggested. Again, why is Rosa so into science? Is her brain expanding through sciencey things because she has alien marination happening? Anyway, I love the idea that Maria didn't lose her abilities. She lost the false abilities. She lost the way that Project Shepherd had corrupted the ability, and now her brain is healthy and she's going to start manifesting the abilities the way it was meant to be. I love that idea that she hasn't lost anything, but she has found herself. Again, I love this episode. Very stressed for the next one. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon, and thank you so much for watching.